Hey guys, we are excited for Jet to be chasing down his first 250 West Coast title. This season, every time Jet wins, we all win. Inside of the Moto Academy, we're giving away 18% discount. Every time Jet wins the main event, you get 18% off any class that you want to sign up for in the 2023 Moto Academy Tour. Head over to club.themotoacademy.com, get inside of the app. This offer is exclusive for 24 hours after Jet crosses the finish line. See you inside the app, guys.
Wait, what was your name again? I forget.
Kristen.
Kristen. You were crushing it. What was your costume?
It was a cat made.
Cat. Okay,
Yeah.
I liked it. It was sick. It was, I think me and James and you were like the only ones that got dressed up. But anyways, you're down here in Tampa. We're doing a class. Have you basically won every race since then? Or like what you got going on?
Well, since I live in New York, it's been pretty snowy since then, so I decided to come down here for a week or so and get some training in before there's more indoor racing in Supercross, and especially here with the track is more Supercross-like, what AJ said. I can really focus on a lot of technique. I've been trying a lot more with especially with what Jet said.
Yes.
Fingers, I've been so good with that, but I'm really excited for today.
Okay, are you going to focus on anything specifically today?
Elbows, just keeping my elbows up. That's what my big problem has been most recently, so that's what I'm focusing on today.
Well, let's get that puppy fired up. Let's do it.
I definitely want to at least, do a 50-50 split jumps and corners today. I think we'll start with a corner. Just looking from here, that berm is pretty cool and it's got a rut on the exit. I don't know if that's any good. Is the inside rut before that scrub roller? Is it okay?
It's all right.
Is it really choppy?
I didn't hit it, I don't know.
Okay. Did you hit it at all? Is it choppy at all?
A little bit.
We could probably start with that corner. That's a fun, I like that section at least. The first thing with the attack position is making sure our feet are in the correct spot. What that looks like is balls of your feet all the way wedged up against the frame. There should never be space in between your toe box and the frame, so make sure that's wedged all the way up. And then we're gonna just drop our heels. When we stand up and drop our heels, what that does is it pulls our knees from here to here. You wanna have the feet you want to have the knees on top of the foot pegs and not allow the knees to drive forward in front of those foot pegs. That becomes super important, especially for the higher level guys when we go to brake aggressively. The common mistakes when people are braking is they allow that whole body to kind of come forward, whether it's just the force wanting to pull them to the front, or them thinking about, all right, I got to get in position for this turn, and everybody's just starting to do that slow transition for the corner. Hold that attack position, stay in it until you get to the cone, then you can make a quick transition to the seat. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Make sure that you are 100% comfortable taking it standing up before we add sitting down to the equation. Really make sure that when you guys are done using the controls, your foot slides back onto the balls of your feet on the foot peg. We cannot be shifting or braking and then just doing one of these. Your foot's gonna get snagged on a rut, you're gonna end up riding on the flat part of your foot, which then you're eliminating all of your body's suspension travel at that point, and we're just gonna be ricocheting off of the bike like crazy. On the KTM, you're sitting just a little bit too far back, and you're having to compensate by getting your head so far forward, and then you're also just steering the bike around the corner for no good reason. Get comfortable leaning it from the waist down, and to lean it from the waist down, you can't be here. you've got to be here with your hips unlocked so you can allow the lower body to work. When I demonstrate here in a second, that's what you guys will, hopefully if I do it right, is what you'll notice when I go around that turn is it doesn't require a ton of commitment from my upper body because I'm so unlocked with my hips that the lower body can move completely independent. But if you're like this and you do the same, when you stand you have a tendency to hunch. As soon as you hunch, look at what it does to my lower back. It's rolled. Therefore, if I try to wiggle my hips, that's no longer a hip wiggle, it's a whole body roll, right? And that can really throw you off. Get past that cone, and as soon as my front tire is settled in that rut, I'm relying completely on the front brake to hold the front tire in the rut. As soon as it feels like the bike wants to stand up and fight that lean, front brake gets me right back to that lean angle I need to be at. With how tight this rut is and how steep the inner wall of the rut is, this would be a corner that for now I would probably put my inside foot out. But that's not the drill. So just be willing to go a little slower and play around with it. If you guys can see, I don't know if you could see it in real time or not, but see the dirt on my boot? That's just from my foot being nice and tight and from that rut wall scraping. Even just from those few laps of doing that, I bet you I just made the rut quite a bit better because I'm starting to eat away at that rut wall on the inside. Hopefully the one thing that you guys notice the most when you watch me, and I try to be very good about this, isn't my upper body very, very stable? It just looks like I'm here no matter what. Not here, not here, not here, just right here. Straight up and down, hips unlocked, abs tight, elbows up.
Okay, so quick little rut drill there. How did it go?
Well, the first few times I felt a little uncomfortable doing it, but later on I kind of felt myself getting more and more used to it. One time I did it really nicely. I was like, yes, what did I do? to do it like that. So I tried to replicate it.
If I may, I know I'm not the coach, but you do something that I do a lot because I'm not AJ, but you're doing a lot of steering with the handlebars and not enough with your hips.
Yeah.
You gotta unlock those hips and lean the bike to get it to steer, and then it'll go much smoother. Yeah, what gear were you in?
I was in third.
Third? Okay.
Doing it, if I was gonna do it again, I'd probably try it in second.
Okay.
Because I felt I had to feather the clutch a little bit to get the speed up, especially up the roller there.
That's probably why you were hopping out in the middle, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe next time try second and then really unlock the hips. You got it. Okay.
Lean, front brake, front brake. Whoa, coming in hot. Just going a little fast for what she's comfortable with. The common mistake here is you would see people drag the rear brake all the way up this roller, and then they'd end up having the bike stood up too tall and would want to jump out of the rut as soon as they crest the backside of this roller. I always say if you're uncomfortable or you're awkward and you don't like the section, stand. But if you start to feel a little more confident, a little more racy, and like you can gain some speed and sit a little earlier, that's fine. But don't sit before this hump. See where the shadow is? Way down over there in the rut? That's about, I don't know, at least 40 feet in front of me. That's where my eyes are. My eyes are not here. They're down over there. And by the time I'm down by where that shadow is, I'm looking up at the top of the takeoff. Watching a student hit something that I recognize as a big kicker, And it kind of just, every time the bike does something a little funky, that's scary to me. But as long as you can know that, okay, I gotta let this thing do what it's gonna do, and then just pull it back with my boot and my foot once it does that, then you're okay, for the most part. There's still always a chance that it might do something really weird. So if you watch her, she's braking into a corner, but let's see, when she turns around and goes to stand up again, let's see where her head goes. Come on, stand. Let's see what she does. Sitting too far back. This is a good jump that, who here is clearing this to the downside right now? What you don't want to do is be the guy that jumps on top, lands flat, jumps down to the base of the bottom, lands flat again, and the bike's just not really in sync or in the stroke of the suspension where it wants to be. A fast rider would come out of this corner and figure out a way to, almost like a BMX rider, manual the obstacle and drop the front tire exactly where they want to. So having the ability to be able to do a small wheelie across the top of this tabletop is a really good skill set to learn. The one thing that I've noticed training with Jet and Hunter is that they rely heavily on practicing bike skill drills. Nose wheelies, slow wheelies, balance drills, tire tapping, wheeling through whoops. Like any type of drill that you kind of think is unorthodox or like when could you apply this? That's what those guys are working on, so that in a real-time situation, you can kind of be like a BMX rider and finesse the bike. Or if you're about to kill yourself and you're getting out of control, you can figure a way out of it. I think a lot of riders nowadays are just on that stopwatch constantly and they're just trying to go fast all the time. That when they encounter a really technical section, they have no idea how to go about doing it. And if they get really out of shape, they just basically just abort mission and they're on the ground before they can even have a chance to save it. So I'm going to do this without my foot on the rear brake because I also rely heavily on just ankle flexion while I do this type of wheelie and try to absorb the takeoff and the landing of a jump. But what you'll notice is that when I drop the front end on the landing, I can just absorb and push through and keep that forward momentum like crazy. That would be the whole idea of being able to utilize this in a race situation. You guys will see as I... So all of that's being controlled with the clutch so that I can put that front tire exactly where I want to. I can drop it where I want to. I can go as straight up into a wheelie as I want to. Obviously, if you're doing that at speed, the goal isn't to get the front end super high up, right? But as you go, the slower you go, the higher that front end has to be able to carry the wheelie. Also notice that when I'm coming out of the rut, I'm not trying to catch air into the wheelie. I'm trying to keep the back end on the ground pretty much the best I can the entire time. That wheelie is not possible without really good clutch control and knowing how to control that bike. 31 the TM was doing it the best. You were doing it second best, but pretty darn close. I mean, 31 and 134, you guys were pretty spot on. a couple of things that were making it work for you guys were when you would take off, you were the two that were really working the takeoff the best with your legs to keep that rear end planted. 17, 31, was there anybody else out there or was that it? 17 and 31, you were going really stiff leg when you hit the takeoff, and then the bike would catch air and then you would land abruptly and there wasn't any like absorption going on. 134 and 31 on the TM were absorbing the takeoff so that back tire would stay planted and then go straight legs to wheelie and then absorb the landing the same exact way. And it looked very connected and pieced together, which was good.
Kristen, you crushed it today. It's Kristen, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so embarrassing. That last little sequence that you did, okay, wait, the last time I caught up with you, we were doing
The corner.
the rut drill.
Yeah.
Okay, what was after that?
We did the
Oh yeah, this one right over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, how did that one go?
That one really well. I felt really comfortable on it, especially because I was able to stand into the rut and I was able to do the finishing line tabletop as well.
Yeah, you went for the finish table on that one.
That was really, I felt really happy with it, and then able to slow down enough for the corner and then really drive into it and pop out. AJ said I had to work on just keeping my back straight, not hunching when I do the jumps. But the corner wise, I was good on that one.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like we think attack position, get our head over the front fender, but when something he was trying to get you to work on today was get comfortable being proper.
Yeah.
Like kind of relax a little bit, get upright, get over the bike, and just let the hips underneath do the work. So you did make some progress there for sure.
Yeah.
And then when we went for the full send on the finish table, that was sick. Did you play around with gear selection in this corner over here, like between second or third? Or what?
I was just third the whole time.
Third, okay.
Because I feel like if I dropped a second, I feel like my bike would be revving too much, and I feel like
True.
I'd slow down too much for the speed I wanted to go into the corner. But
Yeah.
I stay in third mostly.
Okay, good job. And then the last one there at the end was the wheelie over table. I've never seen him do that in the class. How did that go?
I've never done something like that before. This year I was learning how to do wheelies with one of my like teachers, and so
Okay.
to do it over a jump, I was like, how do you do this exactly? And so I kind of tried it out, and then by the end, I was kind of able to get some pop, and I made it pretty far on a few of them, which I was really happy about. And
Wait,
then,
your bike was the demo bike, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So he got it warmed up, you know?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I did what he did.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was sick. I'm glad that nobody died. Everybody did it successfully. You did really good in that session, so I'm glad that you overall had a good day. What are you going to work on now? What's the takeaway from today?
Keeping moving forward more, especially when I'm sitting.
Okay.
I think we're going to PAX tomorrow, and we're going to try doing
Oh,
that.
moving forward in relation to like your bottom.
Yeah, like move it closer to like the handlebars when I'm in a corner.
Okay.
And so I was doing that during the free ride on that same corner. It felt so much smoother. And keeping my feet on the pegs.
Okay.
And just being, especially with the tack position, keeping relaxed, like you said.
Yeah. Get those hips forward. All right. Well, you're doing a good job, Kristen. It was awesome to see you in class today. I'm sure I'll see you at another one soon.
Oh,
so
yeah.
good luck in swimming.
Thank you.
Sure.